Hi, I'm Megan Snyder, and I'm happy to be here. So, today we're going to be talking about tips on sharing your deploy. So, we'll give it a few minutes for everyone to kind of come on in. All right, so today we're here in Brooklyn, New York. The weather's definitely a little on the warm side, but it's getting to be September, so everyone's going back to school, kind of, I guess. A lot of remote learning happening this year. Yeah, I'm really excited. Um, Hi, Isaac. Where are you from? Hello. How are ya? Hi, Thaxton. How are ya? All right, cool. So we got a couple folks here, so we can kind of maybe kick off. So today, thanks for joining. We're talking today about how to secure your deploy, which is a talk that on September 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern, I'll be giving. This is the kind of preview today. Hi from Barcelona. That sounds awesome. I'm sure you're enjoying the weather there. Bangladesh, very cool. Yeah, so we're going to be talking today kind of about how, at a high level, you can have some tips for how to secure your deploy in your project at various stages of maturity. Um, we have an awesome playlist of other deploy tutorials, so be sure to check those out in the description as well. And to register for that September 24th talk I'll be giving, please do so. So the link's in the description. And just want to kind of talk about at a high level what we'll be going over. So I'll be focusing on three major kind of tips today. At first, when you're starting a new project, you definitely want to spend some time up front architecting. This seems like an obvious first step, but by designing your project with redundancy, firewalls, and VPC where appropriate, you're kind of able to save yourself from a lot of headaches down the road. So in my talk, I'll be talking about how attackers really do love to hammer at those public-facing IP addresses. So with this first step, you're really trying to lower that attack surface. And at this point in the process, you may not know what data you will be consuming, but if you do, this is a fantastic time to architect your storage, retention, and access requirements. So that's the first kind of stage of the securing your deploy. The second one is really after you've implemented that basic architecture, you've got your security requirements kind of down, you really want to focus on maturing your posture with that attack surface. So this is kind of maybe the project's been running for a few months and you feel like you have a good understanding of how your architecture is going to kind of work in its beta stage. This next stage really depends on your type of project and tech stack, but maintaining monitoring and alerting on your services really helps you understand the normal and not so normal activity. I like to call this kind of the data gathering phase, where you start to learn about your customer and kind of where your not fun customers are or where your attackers are. And this is also the time that you want to start paying attention to vulnerabilities of the platform, softwares, and services you employ. So, for example, if you use a Docker container, a passive way of kind of maintaining that is to sign up for those tools via critical vulnerability feeds or listservs. And that'll be a great way to just kind of keep your project up to date and find out if there's anything critical going on that you need to patch. Now, if your project is definitely getting some media attention or funding, this is kind of the more mature stage. This is definitely where you want to start up-leveling your security functions. This is the stage I like to suggest your basic security operations with more advanced alerting and a formalized incident severity scale. So that way you can triage and maintain the data that you've understood about your vulnerabilities, and consider crowdsourcing that as a program. There are many alternatives out there to do that. And it's a great way to start to learn about how to better secure your architecture without a lot of resource investment. So finally, also at this stage, you hopefully have some pretty cool customer data and experiences to learn from. And a good security to me definitely means a better security experience from the customer. And that will help you build trust. So definitely consider your product or your project from your customer perspective and start to think about what features or functions would make that customer kind of feel more secure using your product. This is where I like to be transparent about kind of starting to implement what you do for your security practices and implementing any UI or API elements that may enhance security features, which can be a really added benefit to attract new customers and then maintain trust with your end users. Awesome. All right. Do we have any questions in the chat? It doesn't look like it. Let's see if we got anything going on. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming live with me today. It's been great. Let me know if you have any more questions. I hope to see you on September 24th. Awesome.